First of all, I'd like to greet everybody a very pleasant good afternoon. I'd like to welcome all to this pep talk. As a reminder, please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and to make comments while the pep talk is on. There'll be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk. Another reminder, please take the online Learning Comb evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this. I have placed the link in the chat box already. Obtaining 50 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee or participant to a voucher for a ROJoson telemedical consultations. We are now on our 116 pep talk, so the participants can have a chance to get 2 certificates already. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. So let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in a few minutes. Please turn on your video. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk in May 15, 2021. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. From October 23, 2021 onwards, I have been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. This may take 3 years or longer, depending on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. Actually, we're now on our 3rd year. My pep talk today is entitled Intentional Living Plan as a Strategy for Well-Being. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding of the so-called essential living plan, which can be used as a strategy for well-being in their health management. The contents of this pep talk will be the following. We start with the definition of what is well-being, how does it differ from wellness, which we often heard here also. What is an intentional living plan? Why use an intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being? And how to formulate an intentional living plan using the ROJoson's template. So a disclaimer is that the contents of this pep talk will include only the ROJoson's thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations culled from experiences of himself as well as from other professionals. Let's start with the first definition of well-being. How does it differ from wellness? According to the Oxford Dictionary, wellness is the state of being healthy, physically healthy. Well-being is considered the general health and happiness, which is a state of emotional, physical, psychological well-being. So well-being, comparing the two, well-being is more encompassing than wellness. Wellness is more focused on the physical health, whereas wellness emphasizes the inclusion of mental and emotional health. We all know that these are strong, important components of a health of an individual: physical, mental, and emotional and psychological health. Our society and our medical community have generally viewed health through the lens of the physical health, usually mga physical health lang, rather than on the mental and emotional health, and define good health mostly by the absence of sickness, illness, or disability. Pero importante rin yung mental and emotional health. And wellness, well-being embraces more than just physical health. It takes into account the entire person, both body and mind, and not merely by the absence of a disease or an illness. And its approach to health includes the presence of positive mental states, emotions, and moods. So in its simplest term, well-being can be described as a state of good health, happiness, fulfillment, and purpose, judging one's life positively and feeling engaged. So this is a simple definition that we will be using today. Okay. So my advice is that all of us should aim for well-being, not just wellness. Wellness is physical lang kasi. No? Well-being includes emotional and mental well-being. So what is an intentional living plan? Intentional living is essentially living with intention. An intentional living plan, with the word plan now here, is essentially a plan on how to live with intention. There are a lot of different concepts and strategies by different authors on how to go about living with intention. Some would put religious intention or living with intention in the context of religion. Some would promote living with intention in the context of mere transformation to have a more clear-cut direction in daily life, but without final destination and without a finish line, without a special emphasis on health goal on the health of the body. Okay. So more of clear direction in life, pero usually walang final direction at the end. After that, what will happen? Okay. Some would put happiness intention. Yun ang emphasis nila, happiness. Still others would put productivity intention. So iba-iba yung mga concept na mga different authors when you go to the internet, iba-iba. And I myself have my own concept and strategy. Okay. I have to disclaim that. I have to confess that. Okay. So a little background there on my concept and strategy. In 1994, when I was 45 years old, I'm now 74 years old, I formulated an intentional living plan targeting 70 years old. So that was in 1944. That's the origin of this intentional living plan formulated by myself. Why 70 years old, you would ask? I thought of 70 years old as this is the average lifespan of Filipinos. No? You round off lang, 67 for males and 72 for females. Round off, the average is 70 to be used as a fighting target. And this is easy to remember to teach people. Kasi sabihin ko, mag-target ng mga babae ng 72, mga lalaki ay 67. I just round it off to 70. In 2017, I was so happy to learn from the WHO, World Health Organization, that the average lifespan of all people all over the world is now 70 or was 70. And to die before 70, WHO is a health organization, international health organization. It considered that if you die before 70, you die a premature death. Premature death. So dapat umabot tayo ng 70 before we die para we're not labeled as dying a premature death. So what prompted me to make such an intentional living plan in 1994 was the experience that I had with dying patients. So as a doctor, I see a lot of dying patients also. I've seen a lot of dying patients not contented with their lives at the time of death, even those who are more than 70 years old, 80 years old, and 90 years old. Andun na. Okay. I told myself to be able to live a contented life on earth, all persons should be reminded that there is a limit to life. We should be reminded, alam naman natin yon. No? They should prepare for the graduation day, and they should have an intentional living plan targeting 70 years old. So I had this advocacy since 1994. I've been teaching people, especially my patients, on how to live life with an intentional living plan targeting 70 years old. My operational definition of intentional living plan is as follows. It is a plan that you make targeting a certain number of years in which you write down things you intend or want to accomplish on your graduation day. When you say graduation day, it's the last day of your targeted year, which will make you feel that you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, and you are contented and ready to die a happy death. So the assumption and reality for this living plan is that all of us will die one day. So nobody can refute that. All of us will die one day. Put it in another way, intentional living is living with intention, living guided by your long-term visions and goals in life, and then designing and implementing and continually evaluating a course of actions to reach your long-term visions and goals, your overall expected impact of which is contentment or well-being, as we have defined earlier, of the life that you have lived. Why use an intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being? From my experience and from the writings of other authors, making an intentional living plan not only promotes contentment, but also contributes to longevity, a long life, okay? But overall, it promotes well-being. So remember our definition of well-being, okay? State of good health, happiness, fulfillment, and purpose, judging one's life positively and feeling engaged. Hindi lang yung physical health. Okay, walang disease. Now, it includes the mental and psychological well-being. In my intentional living plan, I prescribe the following focus strategies and tools. Try to stay alive and not crippled, being productive, having a peace of mind, being contented, enjoying life. In an intentional living plan, one makes a plan to live up to a certain number of years, say 70, or if you go beyond 70, pwedeng 75, okay? But being productive and contented. In so doing, particularly if one includes a healthy lifestyle in the plan to keep alive and to the target graduation day, there is a probability that one can reach the target and therefore live longer. Yeah, meron ding advantage of longevity dito. So, number of years to target for the intentional living plan. So this is my suggestion. Target 70 years old if you don't have a serious medical condition. Alam natin may mga younger people who have not reached 70, may mga sakit na rin, but that does not pwede pa rin gumawa silang intentional living plan. Okay? 70 years is the average lifespan of all Filipino in the world as well as in the Philippines, and 70 is the cut-off year for premature death declared by WHO in 2017. Target 5 years, let's say after you reach 70 years old already, target 5 years at a time after you reach 70 years old, and if you are more than 70 years old, you can have a stretch target of more than 5 years as long as you can give a realistic justification. So example, for myself, I am now 74. I have reached 70 in 2019, and I renewed my intentional living plan and placed a target of 75, so that's next year, but with a stretch to 83, because my justification is that I want to see and wait for my wife to reach 70 when I am 83 years old. So for those who have not yet reached 70 or who have some illnesses that might limit their lifespan, So I would suggest that target 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, or 10 years, as the case may be, if you have a medical condition that has a known actuarial lifespan. When you say actuarial lifespan, it's a known average lifespan of the medical condition. So although this is not foolproof, we just have to use this as a guide. So if there is no published actuarial lifespan of a particular medical condition, you just have to consult your physician. How to formulate an intentional living plan using ROJoson's template. So I will show you my template here, okay, which I renewed in 2019 after I reached 70. Here is a note. I started my first intentional living plan in 1994 at age 45 years old. I targeted 70 years old. At age 70 in January 2019, I have accomplished completely my formulated intentional living plan and was ready to die contented. Since I'm still alive, I have to continue living. I renewed my intentional living plan for another 5 years with a stretch to 83. So this is the renewed intentional living plan. So part 1 will be to place down your name, okay, the owner of the intentional living plan, your name, then your current age. So this was done in 2019. So 2019, so this will span up to 2024 with a stretch to 2032. So in terms of age, from 70 to 75 to 83. And then number of years to target in the intentional living plan, 5 years from 70 to 75, and then to stretch it to 13 years up to 2032. Okay, so then specify the reasons for the stretch targets. Okay, so here are my reasons for my stretch targets. As I said, I would want, before I die, I want my wife to be 70, then, umabot din siya ng 70. And then for my children, I want to support them until they're most stable in their professional life. Part 2 in the template will be who are the people to include the intentional living plan. So you just enumerate the names of other people, which could include your husband, your wife, your spouse and partner, children, and significant others you want to include in the plan. So here. And then enumerate the names, okay, the names of those you want to include. Okay, example here, the name of my wife, the names of my children. And then part 3 of the template now will be what will be your legacies that you want to leave behind. So if I were to die at 75 next year or stretch up to 83, okay, what are the legacies that I want to leave behind for my family and my community? So try to be as specific as possible, include a timeline or the deadline. It's up to you. There's no wrong answer here. It's what you want to leave behind. So I have, as of at age 70, I already have 43 legacies that I recorded. Okay. Then I will just refine them from age 70 to 75 to 83. Then I will add some more. So these were the things that I'll be adding: how to live life in the context of health, tips for general surgeons to be, a design manual for hospital, quality and safety management, medical curriculum enhancement. These are for the medical school. Then options for medical management in terms of diagnostic treatment procedures. This is what I've been teaching in the PEP talk. And then clinical research, and then safety promotion and disaster preparedness program for all. So these are my decided focus projects from age 70 to 83. So the other legacies that I've started since 2020, as we all know, the PEP talk, and then my contribution to the anti-COVID fight for the since 2020 to 2022, and then the ROJoson telemedical consultation. So the part number 4 will be for your spouse. So what if I were to die? What will I do for my spouse? So you just list down what you want to do for your partner, if you have a partner, okay, your spouse. Then for your children, again, what will I do for my children? Just specify it. And then, okay, for significant others, do the same. So what if I were to die? What will I do for my significant others? Okay. Then for part 7 will be for myself, back to myself. If I were to die, what will I do for myself? So you start with what will I do for your spouse, your children, significant others, and other people. And then after that, you think of yourself, what will I do for myself? So be as specific as possible and include a timeline or deadline. So include the following goals as applicable. So include health goals, contentment, enjoyment, God or creator, financial, career, professional, social and relationship goal, etc. as indicated, okay, as applicable. So most important, include the following areas outlined below. So I will mention that. So you will have general plans as well as specific plans. Okay. So for myself, if I were to die at this age, I want to, these are some of my plans: how to stay alive and not crippled, how to be productive, how to have a peace of mind, how to be contented, how to enjoy life, how to prepare for a happy death, and others. So the general plan will be these ones. Strategic goals will be staying alive and not crippled up to 2032. This is the stretch target. Continuing to refine and strengthen my legacies that I left behind at age 70. And then for the specific plans, as I said, these are the 5 strategies. So details, I will present that. I will share with you the details later on in part number 8. Okay. Okay. So then the other part in the template will be preparing for a happy death, because we all know that we will all die. So we must be prepared for this. So how do I prepare for a happy death, contented and ready to leave this world? Okay. And then come out with a plan. Okay. And then, so these are specific plans that I have placed down. Try my best to stay alive and productive up to the last moment. Make peace with God every day. Stay in the grace of God every day. Okay. So when we talk about this preparing for a happy death, we're actually talking about near the end of life intentional living plan. This is a special category inside the general intentional living plan. So make peace with everybody, forgive and ask forgiveness, endorse my material possessions, make clutter management of my staff, make advance directive on how family and guardian will manage me when I am near death and after I die, then bonding and maximizing bonding with my family and significant others, then enjoy myself to the maximum or the fullest. So I will now share with you some of the specific plans that I have based on these 5 big strategies. Okay. So the how to stay alive and not crippled. Okay. So my general strategies will be the following. So I made a resolution with a definite action plan to stay alive up to 75 to 83 years old. So nakalatag na yon, no? So I'm clear with what I want, no? Okay. And then implement the action plan with annual evaluation. Every year, I usually evaluate what I have achieved or what I have not achieved, and then refine it. Okay. So every December, every January, I review this. And then the definite action plans on how to stay alive, not crippled, no, will be the following. Avoid accidents. We know accidents can cause death. Avoid stroke, as I have a genetic predisposition. Okay, my father, my mother, my uncle, my brother all had stroke. Okay, so not to commit suicide, because committing suicide will shorten my life, my target. Control whatever diseases that I may have, so as not to cause a premature death. And then avoid stress. So we know stress can be very harmful to our well-being. And then live a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so these are some of the specific strategies in avoiding accidents. So be wary of the risk of accidents in all types of activities that I would undertake. So be mindful of this. And then forgo those activities with high risk for accidents. Take the necessary precautions, and then be vigilant against accidents, or be mindful of the possibility of accidents. Then stroke, controlled stress, diet, healthy diet, no frank poisons, eat in moderation, vary the foods that I'm eating with more vegetables and fish, avoidance of processed foods. Exercise, daily walking for 45 minutes or 3 kilometers, and stretching and flexing exercise for 15 minutes. Okay. And then avoiding stroke will be work in moderation. Okay, so I plan to slow down with controlled pace, relaxation, movies, travels, appreciation of nature, blogs, sports, socializing, etc. And then, of course, taking medicine to control my hypertension. I'm now taking antihypertensive drugs. Okay. And not to commit suicide is another strategy, how to stay alive and not crippled. I should avoid depression. I should keep myself busy with something to do every day so as to distract myself. No overthinking, at least 16 to 17 hours a day, doing major and medium small stuff. And then control whatever diseases that I may have so as not to cause or promote death. Control of hypertension, control of diabetes, control of hypercholesterolemia. So I'm using diet for these three, but for hypertension, I'm taking antihypertensive drugs. So the other activities that I do, exercise, maintain my normal weight, okay, and then stress management, and of course, taking medicines. Avoid stress to have a peace of mind. Always have a peaceful and restful sleep as much as possible. Avoid stressful operations because I'm a surgeon. Okay, some operations could be very stressful. Avoid stressful patients. Some patients are also stressful. Stressful lectures, and then stressful people and stressful events. So I try to avoid this as much as possible. And then be contented. Remind yourself you can only do so much. No more rat race. You have to slow down. You have to enjoy the remaining days and months of your earthly life. Just a reminder to myself as part of my stress management. Manage stress when it's unavoidably occurs and comes. Resolve as best as I can. So my motto is usually, lilipas din siya. It will come to pass. And then live a healthy lifestyle. And very important. This is very important. Have a clear direction in life. Formulate an intentional and purposeful living plan with operational definition of endpoints of contentment and indicators of happiness and enjoyment. Action plans for a healthy living to reach a certain age target. So, included under a healthy lifestyle will be daily healthy eating, and then regular exercise, regular work. So still have to work regularly, but modulate it. Productive daily, enjoy work, but control the stress that is related to the work. Regular relaxation, and then stress management will be part of the healthy lifestyle. Minimalist approach in life. So I have a attitude of or stance of acquiring things that are only essential and needed to living a simple, comfortable life. So keeping things to the minimum or essential. Then I avoid anything in excess in terms of drinking, eating, etc. Avoidance of anything that will be harmful to the physical and mental health, like smoking, I don't smoke, alcohol, drugs, chemical exposure, pollutions, interactions with evil and unscrupulous people. I try to avoid this. Now, the second strategy is being productive. So, accomplish at least 3 tasks per day as my criterion for contentment. So every day I must accomplish at least 3 of these things listed here: medical practice, medical education, hospital administrations, but in terms only of lectures now, because I'm retired from actual administration. Then public health education, which I'm doing now in the pep talk, okay? And then family bonding, exercise, relaxation, and social networking. How to have a peace of mind, the other big strategy here. So strategic plans and goals always be at peace with God, always be at peace with every other human being, always be at peace with authority. So proactive management of possible stresses. So prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, recovery, and have a contingency plan. So be one step ahead. So try to have an idea of how you're going to handle all these stresses. Then have a contingency plan for the stress management. Think positively. Don't worry too much. Think and motto is everything will come to pass. Then the fourth major strategy here is being contented. So in January 2015, I made this statement and resolution. So I determined the endpoints in all programs and projects I want to do in my life that will be, which I considered as criteria for contented enough. Okay. So this is in consonance with my intentional living plan kasi nakaset na yon. So kung na-achieve yun, okay na yon. Okay. So once I have achieved the endpoints, I retire completely and just cherish the memories of what I have done. I have to learn how to be contented. So contented also means peace and relaxation of mind, no more rat race. No such saying as I have too much to do, too many responsibilities to shoulder, too many deadlines to meet, too many achievements to be achieved, too many money to earn and to be saved, too many promotions to be earned, too many calls to be made, too many letters to be written. So may nangyayari pa ito, pero I try to control them as much as possible. So striving for more in anything have ceased. So minimalist na ako ngayon. Not thinking that if I'm contented, people might think I've lost my ambition. And saying goodbye to yung mga schedule, yung mga hectic. Okay. Now, the last strategy here is how to enjoy life. Okay. So I have on my own categorized enjoyment into the following: sensual pleasure, ego pleasure, accomplishment pleasure, and appreciation pleasure. Para alam ko kung ano bang definition ng enjoyment ko. Okay. For sensual pleasure, the example here will be eating and enjoying good foods prepared by my wife and during blowouts and meals invitations from relatives and close friends. But I make sure that I eat in moderation. Ego pleasure, delightful feedback to me from my patients, from my colleagues and friends, which I cherish. Okay. And then accomplishment pleasure, examples will be my accomplishment in life, my legacies, my programs and projects which I've accomplished, which I should be contented. And then appreciation pleasure, including plant appreciation, bamboo appreciation, places appreciation. Okay. So I have given you the template. So I just round this up with a summary and takeaway. So I have tackled the following topics. What is well-being? How does it differ from wellness? So target well-being rather than wellness, because well-being is more encompassing. Kasama na yung mga emotional and psychological and mental health. What is an intentional living plan? Why use an intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being? and how to formulate a plan, intentional living plan, using the ROJoson's template. So I've shown you the template of my intentional living plan, how to formulate, how I formulated it, and how I implemented it successfully up to 70 years old. And I'm now on my second phase. I have given some tips on my strategies and tactics which you can adapt or adapt. So intentional living is essentially living with intention. That's the simplest definition. Whereas the intentional living plan is a plan on living with intention. Formulating an intentional living plan is a strategy in staying healthy and contented. So which everybody wants to have this goal. And formulating an intentional living plan is a strategy for well-being. Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment: be always in touch with reliable medical information on the intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being. Knowledge is power. It gives power. Use the 4 Ks of patient empowerment: kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being in your health management. So before we go to, so that ends my talk, intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being. I hope I have empowered you to have a essential understanding of intentional living plan as a strategy for well-being in your health management. So before we go to the QA, reminder, please take the OLETE. 50 OLETE certificates will entitle one to a voucher for a ROJoson telemedical consultation. And then place your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Okay, let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interactions. Okay. Ready? One. Okay. Okay. One more missing. Okay. Sama si Ningli. One, two, three. Okay. So the floor is now open for comments, questions. No? Anything that you want to share? Also, you might have a intentional living plan. Feedback. Okay. Anybody who has a intentional living plan, kahit na as I said, maraming approaches doon, no? Maraming way of doing a plan. As long as you know what you're doing, and then as long as you know the goals, okay na yon, no? Okay. So you don't really have to follow strictly my plan, but at least yung mga component lang doon, isama lang ninyo, yung mga basic component, no? So who has a formal intentional living plan? Wala? Anybody? Okay. Maria Pustapolotan has one. I suppose all of you, those who joined the pep talk during the first year, was able to come out with intentional living plan. Si Phoebe, si Abet, si Lorly, Rochelle. I think Rochelle was part of the Rochelle, you were in the first batch.
Yes,
No?
Doc.
Yeah, you have intentional living plan. Okay. Sino pa to? Si Realme. Sino ba si Realme? Si Christy ba yan? And then si Mayan. Is that Mayan? Okay. So,
Yes, po.
Okay. So anything, any update on your intentional living plan? Ina-update ba ninyo? So magti 3 years na, assuming that you started in 2021 when we started the pep talk in core course, how has it been along? Na-implement ba ninyo? Kadalasan di naman to the letter, but at least majority, no? And then every year you just have to update and then to reassess. Ako every December I do my reassessment. Okay, I'm still on track. Example, my weight, I have maintained my weight for the past 6 years already, 7 years already. Walking, diet, okay, I have maintained it at 70, less than 72. It's difficult, but since you have a goal to achieve, you just have to maintain it. No? Okay. So anybody who wants to share? Mary, do you have an intentional living plan? Would you like to have one? Yeah.
Actually, Doc, hindi ako very clear what can make me contented. Eh.
Huh?
I don't really know what is that thing that will make me contented.
Yeah, you have to think, you have to meditate, you have to analyze. Now, what will be your definition?
What is frank poison?
Frank Poison, yung talagang alam mo namang sa pagkain yun, di ba? Pagkain, the food. Okay.
Yeah.
When I say Frank Poison, yung talagang, kaya kasi whenever people ask me, ano yung bawal? No? Ano bawal pagkain? I always tell them, lason ang bawal. Okay. So when you say lason,
obviously poisonous.
lason, you know that it's bad. You want to take it. Pangit. Talagang masama yun. Di ba? Okay. And then, but most of the time, when we talk about diet, you also want to avoid yung abdominal discomfort, distress. So you try to be vigilant against eating yung mga spoiled food, no? Yung mga spoiled, no? Di ba? Paminsan yung mga spaghetti, matagal na, at ano. And then, pag kumain kayo, try to taste mo na kung pangit ang lasa, huwag niyo kainin na. Ano, okay, huwag kayo mahinayang. Baka kung saan nahinayang kayo, dapat ubusin, sayang, di ba? So, yun, no? Poisons. And then, kung di naman frank poison, you have to eat in moderation. Okay.
That's part of the hardest, Doc, kasi like if you love sweet things or you love oily things, ang hirap ma-overcome, or dairy, diba? Those, because
yeah,
finding out that lately those are addicting pala. So
yeah, okay.
hard to
human weakness. Kaya you have to make a resolution, determination that it will be isipin mo lang, do you want to stay alive or not?
okay.
You want to stay alive, you will if you love your own body, you will go all out to control all those things that will be detriment to your health, diba? Okay. And then that's why when you have intentional living plan, you also want you consider your relatives, your loved ones, no? Okay. So for example, for me, I part of my intentional living plan, kasama ko yung asawa ko, yung anak ko. So I make sure that I don't do something that will make them worry too much for me, di ba? Okay. Kasi mababurden din sila, no? That's part of the plan, no? Okay. Holistic nga eh. Holistic yung aking template, no? Okay. So any more questions, Mary? Contented, you define your own contentment. Pero the simpler, the better. The simpler, the better. No? Okay. Just have enough. Just have enough. Okay. 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 Any more? Maria, would you like to share what have transpired for the past 3 years? Or probably you have the intentional living plan more than 5 years na. Matagal na.
Yun po yung ginagawa niyo noon. Di ba
Oo.
ho? Yung ano, yeah. Well, kinda ho. I was
Nakatulong
fortunate
ba?
enough. I was fortunate enough na a lady, I submitted one, well, I've been submitting my poems to this Spirit Fire Review. It's an online magazine, and it's been published. My poems have been published in that magazine, that e-magazine. So that part, and then I was able to put some of my music on SoundCloud. So if you want to listen to my music, you go to soundcloud.com. Pero yung weight po, hahaha. I'm on my way, pero I need to lose a lot more weight ho. Kasi nga, well, I've not been working regularly. Puro work from home ako. Dati kasi you go out talagang syempre with the young children, you're on the go. Ngayon puro record this, record that. Hindi puro upo ka lang sa piano mag-record. Hindi na as active as before. So I need to lose more weight. I'd like to share lang ho about my friend.
Okay.
What she did before she died. She died prematurely po because she got breast cancer, but she had been living in the States for quite some time, for over 3 decades na ho. When she found out na na talaga, it was terminal because she was on chemo, radiation, may shunt na nga siya just to she did a wonderful thing po. She called all the people she thought or she knew she had wronged. Tinawagan ho niya yun lahat. And she made peace with them. Oh, grabe ho. I mean, talagang when you think about it, she made peace with all of them. So, nag-reconnect siya, and ayun, I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to do, to swallow one's pride before your death. Kasi minsan nag-hold rin tayo sa pride natin, di ba? Hindi naman ako nagkamali, pero siya ko talaga, she did that. So she died
peaceful.
Ready. She was ready peacefully, and she was ready to accept the Lord. So that's what I share ko what she did. So malungkot pero maganda rin yung ginawa niya.
Yeah. So but in the end, that's the way to go. Diba? You have to die peacefully. So let go of everything, and then yung mga dapat may peace of mind ka rin, no? Ready to face our creator, diba?
Maganda po. Very nice.
Yeah. So in my intentional living plan, as I said, there's a part there that includes yung mga near the end of life, na kasama yun doon, na palagi meron doon, na kasi a lot of yung mga intentional living plans that you see in the internet, usually hindi kasama yon, no? Okay, this is how to make yourself happy, to make yourself productive lang, no? Okay. So my template is that it's holistic, it's long range, up to the end, no? Okay. So in fact, those who don't have a intentional living plan, I have a special intentional living plan. I call it the near end of life. So yung mga cancer patients, yung parang sinabi ni Iya Husta, na so those who probably have not come out with an intentional living plan way before they got sick, now they got sick, they're dying now already, no? Okay. So I still teach them how to do the intentional living plan. I call it the near end of life intentional living plan. No? So you try. So if let's say if you have 1 month to live, 6 months to live, what will you do now? No? So make sure you rush up everything na. No? Okay. Okay. So ganon. So in fact, In fact, part of our yung Cancer Crusaders Club, we will have testimony on that. Yung mga those who are near end of death and then who died, now how they cope up with their last remaining days in life, and then with the intentional living plan. Meron silang advanced directives, and then some make most of them made peace with God already. Now, okay. Okay.
Dr. Hoson,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah,
This is Ning.
Ning. Okay.
Yeah. I heard yung mga what you have shared to us, no? That I realize talaga you're very organized doctor and you know what you want in life. But there are some people who does not have any direction. So they don't even know how they're going to make this plan for their life. And like with you, I often I read your Facebook messages, and you're a very God-fearing man. That's why you have this contentment and peace in your heart. And usually, people who does not have the Lord Jesus, when they leave this world, sometimes they have this fear of death. They don't know um, where to go. So, in spite of having their plans, they still hold on to life because they're so full of fear, because they don't really know what will happen after death. But like what you have been sharing in your Facebook, I really see that you are a very God-fearing man. In spite, in like what you did to my sister Mary when you operated on her, you even prayed before you have the operation. So that is really um, a very good example. But oftentimes kasi, there are people na who have their own plan and also their own what they want to do in the next how many years. But we have to just recognize that our life is not in our hand, although we have this plan. But still, we still trust the Lord to lead us, because although we have this plan that we want to reach up to the year 70 or even 80, but if the Lord Jesus wants us to stop at this age, we cannot do anything. So I think I would say that the first thing that we have to do is to commit our life to the Lord and recognize that He is really our Savior, so that when He is our personal Savior, then the rest of the things that your plan will follow, and you will be able to submit your life to Him. So that means like as you did, there is no fear. Yeah. Right? And somehow you will be ready anytime when the Lord calls you home. So that is how I see the how life is.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your affirmation. No? Okay. So in fact, when I put this template, no, that will include also recognizing yung God's plan for you. No? So you just have to accept everything. So number one, you just have to accept that we will die one day. No? So say those who don't make a plan, parang it's a life that you want to live forever in this world, di ba? They don't. So if they realize that they're going to die, now one day they might change their mind. They might come out with a more orderly life, no? And then after that, when they come out with a plan, they should include the Creator, the God, no? And
yes.
So, we have to admit that God's plan is still better than our personal plan, diba?
Yeah, agree.
At least we come out with because God would also tell you, you make a plan, but considered me as the greater planner, diba?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Tama.
Yes.
No? Okay. So thank you for your input. No? Okay. So any more? Thank you.
Doctor,
Yeah.
I suggest that if you have Netflix, you watch 39. That is a series about three friends, one having a cancer, napakaganda nung series na yon because it tackles about a person na merong cancer. So I'm recommending everybody watch 39 sa Netflix. It's a Korean series.
It's a series. 39.
Yeah.
39.
Yeah, 39. Yeah. A year before they got 40.
Huh?
Maganda yun. It's a very moving series. It's about a cancer survivor or having a cancer, kung paano siya namatay. Or pinag-prepare niya yung bago siya mamatay. And it's a very good series. I recommend that.
Okay. Gaano katagal yung series niya? Mahaba?
Medyo, it's an 18 episodes eh.
18.
Pero parang in 2 sittings natapos ko yun kasi nga maganda yung yung series. It's about the cancer patient, a cancer patient.
Sige. Okay, I will try. I don't watch Netflix kasi.
Yeah. The others, they may watch it because it's good. It's very good. It's a very good series.
Okay.
Only for the last 4 episodes, I can't stop crying kasi nga yung mamamatay na yung cancer patient.
Yeah. Okay. So real story yan, ha? Real life story.
Yeah.
Korean. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Korean series pero meron naman yung subtitle eh.
Okay. So take note, yung 39. If you
Yeah, it's 39.
Netflix kayo, manood kayo. Na? Okay.
Netflix.
Okay. So any more comments? So those who don't have an intentional living plan, are you now starting to contemplating on formulating one? Please do. Please do, and then share with us kung pwede, or at least share with me now, and then I can give you some comments now. Then, by the way, we will have a follow through of this this pep talk now. So on October 21 something, there will be a sharing of intentional living plan by Radis now. Okay. And then other one will be probably sharing by Abet and his group and her group now. Okay. So if you want to share also, just tell me now. So every year we will have this intentional living plan as a regular topic now. Okay. Because the objective of this pep talk is patient empowerment. We want everybody to be healthy, to have well-being. Diba? In the end. No? Kaya in lecture ko, in the pep talk, it's not only how to be physically healthy, but will include mental and social wellness, no? Psychological wellness. No? Okay. So, any more? We still have time for one.
ROJoson,
Yeah, Ning.
I have another question. I don't know if this is related, but I just want to know, let's say if a person, yung sleeping schedule niya is baliktad na, instead of sleeping like at night, she sleeps in the morning, parang ginawang yung daytime ginawa niyang nighttime. So
Why?
how do you
Because of duty?
advise? No, parang naging habit na.
Naging
So how
habit.
do you advise the person to go back to the regular sleeping hours, like sa nighttime?
You're talking about a specific person.
Yes.
Okay, how old?
70 plus.
So retired na. She's not
Yes.
70 plus.
Around 76.
Yeah, 76, but who is not active in the
Yeah, retired. She's just around the house.
around the house lang. Okay, but before, let's say at age 50, anong time
Yeah.
yung schedule niyan?
Yeah, before at age 50, she used to sleep around 11 or 12. and then that later on it becomes 2 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock in the morning, and then 7 o'clock. Now it's 11 o'clock in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and then she just wakes up around 3 o'clock.
Okay. Now, okay, what's kasi baka it's more of a sleeping habit na eh, no?
Yeah.
Saka he has no, parang wala siyang, she's not obliged to follow any schedule anymore by the external.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so
Yes.
just let it be na lang, as long as he's healthy. No?
But she's not healthy.
Ah,
That's the problem.
He's
She's not healthy.
because of the sleeping pattern.
Yes, sometimes. And then just the other day, she was brought to the ER, and then they found out this aortic calcification, and then the heart is sort of medyo namamaga or enlarged.
Oo.
So we are thinking this might be due to bad habit of sleeping.
Hindi naman. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Everybody has own sleeping habit, no? It does not, as long as after waking up, no, regardless of what time he wakes up, no, he feels active, strong, and functional, okay na yun, no?
But if she's not,
If he's not, then kasi kahit na sleeping in the morning, but if he's getting 5 hours, 4 hours of sleep, dapat okay lang yon, no? Okay? Dapat okay lang yon, no? Kasi we have, di ba, we have mga graveyard shift na mga trabaho, di ba? Ganun din eh. Once they wake up, they're back to being active, no? It's just a matter of adjustment, no? So as long as yung iba naman, they can sleep only for 3 hours in terms of number of hours. Kung minsan 3 hours, okay na rin, no? They're active. Walang problema yan, no? Okay. So yung aortic na yon, yung calcification, heart, no, it's due to another cause, because probably of aging, because of the diet that he went through during the 70 years of life, no, ganon, no. So not really the sleeping pattern na. Don't worry. Don't attribute to that, no. Okay.
But what if she woke up after around 3 to 4 hours, and then she easily gets tired? Is that still normal?
Gets tired. We have to know the reason why he's getting tired. Baka he has some systemic, baka may problema sa loob na. Baka the heart, the kidney, na ganon, na. So last thing to attribute, the last thing to do is to attribute it to the sleeping, no? So don't worry about the sleeping, no? Okay. Okay, so just
Thank you.
let the doctors check his other system, the heart, na. Okay. Okay, kahit na yung may magandang sleeping patterns, nagkakasakit din sa heart, di ba? And then they die of heart attack, di ba? Mga young age pa, di ba?
Okay, thank you.
And least of my concern is sleeping habit, as long as he's sleeping, no? Okay.
Mukhang matanda lang.
Kung matanda kasi,
Madaling-
kung minsan matanda, you have a different sleeping pattern na eh, no? Okay. Diba, hindi makatulog, di ba? They always say hindi makatulog, so they take a lot of sleeping pills, no? Pero I don't usually advise taking sleeping pills. Just a matter of adjustment lang naman, no? Okay?
But is there a possibility that she can go back to the regular time as at night time ang sleeping niya? Is there a possibility?
Yeah, there's a possibility. Kung minsan yung sa kanya, yung personal will na niya, motivation, personal motivation. Kung wala siyang motivation to do this, to change this, wala. You cannot do anything.
Yeah.
Okay?
Depends on the person.
Oo, depends on the person. No? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay. So any more questions, any more comments, any more sharing? None? Okay. If none, we'll call it a day. We'll see each other next week. Next week, we'll have a simpler topic, more on the cyst. epidermal cyst in the skin. Na?
Mm.
Okay. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'll see you
Salamat po.
next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye po.
Ay,
Oh, Doctor. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Doc. Happy weekend.
Happy
Thank
weekend
you.
also. Bye-bye.
So,